Now this has kind of been a long time coming, and I know you've all been wondering since I did the first dirt cheap gravel bike build video. And it's that, yeah, okay, I put this like kind of crappy bike together for as little amount of money as I can, but does it suck? First of all, fair question. Second of all, I think it only makes sense for us to go over exactly what this bike is again, in case you forgot from all of the previous vlogs about it. Okay, so quickly and simply put, this is an 18-inch Norco Rideau. Rideau. French. It started its life as a typical hybrid. Steel frame, steel fork, quill stem, straight bar, 2 shifters, a triple up front, and I think it was a 7-speed in the rear. These wheels, V-brakes, this seat post, and, well, like your other typical dad hybrid stuff, like a rack. Now though, it's been converted to a drop bar bike with a threadless fork and appropriate stem. It's now a single speed purely for simplicity and to save money. And the seat, ultimately what was done here was I took all the stuff that made it like a not desirable looking bike off and just replaced it with stuff to make it look a little bit cooler. If you want to see more about like how it was built and what went into it and stuff, there's 2 videos, I'll link to them. But the question here is, does that cheap accumulation of bolted together parts suck? And the answer is, yeah, kind of a little bit. Now hear me out though, because I feel like I'm probably getting a lot of pre-typed I told you so's. Because there's a very valid reason as to why this bike is only just kind of okay in my books right now. And it really kind of comes down to the whole premise of this project anyway. Because mechanically, this bike is pretty perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. The only real downfall of it is the brake pull ratio is different than what the V-brakes need, so yeah, you gotta pull them in a little bit further. But they do work, they do get you stopped. The single speed drivetrain, no problem. The wheels tension up really nice, they don't rub, and the frame and fork will fit 40s, which of course is a major bonus. And then there's this thing. I hate to say it, but it actually kind of works a little bit. I just wish a company made like a higher end version so that it didn't like clunk side to side. Yeah, it's not the mechanical performance of this bike that makes it suck. Everything on it's fairly decent quality, easily serviceable, and it has actually fared out just fine in the rides that I've done with it. The reason that it sucks is truly due to the nature of trying to put something together for as cheap as possible and as quick as possible so that I could get a video out about it. And what that does is create a bike that just does not fit. When you're trying to put something together for as cheap as possible or free, you're sort of at the mercy of what's available. And what was available at the time to accommodate those bars was that long stem. The combination of a traditional road drop with a 120mm stem on this small a frame means there is a massive amount of drop and a pretty substantial amount of reach. Now normally I'm all for ridiculous amount of drops and absurd amount of reach, but it can kind of get to the point where you want to like physically be able to ride the bike comfortably, and this is just too much. Even with all the flexibility I do have, I can't make my torso longer to be able to actually like reach something. So yeah, of course it's a fairly easy fix. I can go out and I can buy a shorter stem and I can buy my preferred compact handlebar, and I can make the fit of this bike a lot better for me. But of course that's going to involve spending some money to buy new parts to make this work. It's absolutely got potential, and I have all these ideas as to what I want to do with this in the future, but that really doesn't change the fact that the product of what I was trying to do with this just sort of ended up sucking. I don't know if you've ever tried to ride something that just doesn't fit or wasn't the right position, but it just kind of pulls all the joy out of trying to go for a bike ride. Bye.